Hello and welcome to this 5-minute teaching on the supernatural agape love of God. I'm Pastor Jack Shoup with Grace Fellowship of Georgetown, Kentucky. We've been learning how we can tap into the supernatural love of God, a love that transcends human ability to produce it. We can only tap into it by faith. It doesn't happen accidentally. It takes place through focused, intentional processes that we tap into. And I want to touch on something in this teaching that's going to go against some traditional teaching in the Bible. And that's about the three heavens. Paul said in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, he was caught up to the third heaven. And traditional teaching says that the earth is the first heaven, that outer space is the second heaven. And if you go however many light years beyond outer space, outside of this universe is the third heaven where the throne of God is. And they've got the three heavens basically spatially stacked. You go so far, it's first heaven. So far further, it's second heaven. And then you reach, the third heaven realm. I don't believe that. For one thing, we know that the three heavens operate by different laws, different principles. And as we operate in the first heaven, we know that everything on earth operates by the laws of physics. The same laws of physics, gravity, laws of thermodynamics, laws of electricity, fluid flow, they all operate the same throughout the earth. But we've also learned they operate the same outside of the earth throughout the universe. We study these same laws in operation wherever we look with our telescopes. And I'm convinced that when God said, "Let there be," he created not just the earth, but outer space, all the suns and planets, everything else that's out there. And it's all part of the first heaven realm. It operates by the same principles. Now, I'm going somewhere with this, so bear with me. So what is the second heaven? I believe the second heaven is not spatially stacked. It's dimensionally stacked. That right here with us right now is the second heaven. And it's a realm that governs thought and emotion. That in the second heaven, thoughts have voice and emotions can be sensed. Animals learn how to use the senses to detect what's going on in the second heaven. I used to do some deer hunting, and I learned that during the summer, when there's nobody out there with a rifle, the deer are frolicking publicly without any fear. But as soon as you go out in the field with a rifle, and your mind is emanating thoughts of, "I'm going to shoot something today," the deer get very wary and go into hiding pretty much. They're able to use their emotional sensors and detect somebody's out there wanting to kill them. And if you've ever been deer hunting, you'll notice it on their faces. They're very skittish, jumpy, wary. They know you're around somewhere near with a gun or a bow or whatever you're hunting with. And so thoughts and emotions have voice in the second heaven. In fact, when Satan was cast out of the third heaven, Jesus cleansed the heavenlies with his own blood. Satan was cast into the second heaven. He has influence on the first, but he's taken up residence in the second. He has become a kingdom he dominates by controlling the atmospheres around the earth with demonic feelings of hatred, rage, distrust, jealousy, envy. In fact, I believe every demon out there has its own personality. And that personality it carries influences the realm it goes into. If you've ever been to a funeral, maybe you didn't know the person, but you could walk into the funeral parlor and feel the mourning or the grief. If you walked into a room where there was strife that had just taken place, maybe a fight or an argument had taken place, you can feel the tenseness in the air because your emotions are built into you to pick up what's in the atmosphere around you. See, so often we think the emotions detect how we feel, but really more often than not, they detect what's in the air around us. And demons come in and try to influence the atmosphere around us in the second heaven to get us to respond in a negative fashion. They'll try to get you into anger, hate, and rage. But God's plan for us is to learn how to tap into his presence and bring the supernatural agape love of God from the third heaven where he dwells, another dimension where he dwells, into the second heaven and charge it with love. And when we get that love manifested in the second heaven, it drives out the demons that are trying to overcome people in the second as well. And all of a sudden, people that were resistant to the gospel now want to get saved. And in the next session, we're going to take that a step further, because it's so important that right now we protect our atmosphere. We don't fall prey to what's going on in the world around us. Be blessed.